Ace Podcast.
You're listening to the Super Co-op Squad Video Game Podcast, episode 50. On today's show, we'll be discussing which of the big three companies are winning 2017. We'll have the Capcom Corner, featuring Street Fighter V Arcade and Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, and Steam deleting their games. What's that about? And of course, we'll have our fan faves, gamer trivia, and name the game segments for your entertainment.
Hey gamers, hey friends, hey guys, and gals. Welcome back to the Super Co-op Squad Video Game Podcast, episode 50. I am one of your hosts, Johnny Mack. I'm here with my good friends, my fellow hosts, and my longtime compatriots, Garrett Laney.
Plus Ultra.
Nice, I like that a lot. And Joshua Gerard.
Things are about to get heated up.
Yeah. I think you guys got some nice couple references there. Some My Hero Academia and some Cuphead. So guys, yeah, we love games. Every week we talk about games, movies, comics, pop culture a little bit as well. And we just enjoy talking about all the content coming out, everything that's been discussed in the news, and give you our spin on it, give you guys our opinion, our review on games, and just generally have a good time talking about anything and everything that we love and that you love. So that's going to be the show for you guys every single time. Before we hop into our content, this is your spoiler warning, and we're going to lead that off with our terrible spoiler of the week.
Okay, guys, hope you're ready. Simba becomes the Lion King.
Wait a minute. The Lion King?
Yep.
Yeah,
Simba
man.
becomes the Lion King.
He's the Lion King. So boom, that's it.
He should have waited for his daddy to die, but he couldn't.
Anybody?
Oh,
Just sad moment. So mind blown. So there, if you didn't know, then now you know, guys. But we're doing that every week. Terrible spoilers. But hey, for the real spoilers, if you don't want to be spoiled, check out our show notes. You can find those on our website, scspodcast.com. There will be a link for that website. There will also be a link directly to the show notes in the summary of this episode, wherever you might be listening. Click on that summary or that details and description page. It'll be right there, along with all of our links for social media, all of our links for our fan favorite polls and all that stuff, guys. So check those out. That way you're not spoiled on anything that you don't want to know about. Other than that, let's hop into the first segment here. So we're getting pretty close to that 5 or 6 week period where 95%, or at least it seems like 95% of all the games come out.
all the games.
Yeah, all of them. At least all the big ones. And so this is a good time, I thought, to take a moment and look back at 2017, what's come out, kind of what console, Microsoft, Sony, or Nintendo, what platforms done the best, and going into this holiday period, what are we looking forward to, and kind of who's winning, essentially, 2017. So I guess we'll start off with just looking at, in general, the games that have released and some of the games that are coming, like what have been the standouts that have kind of personified each console.
Funny that you say that word, because I'm going to Persona 5. Sony's got some big games that came out this year that, personally, I don't think a lot of the other companies, or the other two companies, were able to keep up with. Nintendo started strong with the Switch. Switch came out, Zelda was there. Boom. Xbox, personally, what do they got that's different from Sony for the most part?
Yeah, I mean, as far as AAA titles, they definitely have been a little bit lackluster. I think Sony had a lot of quiet releases. Like you said, Persona 5 was a really good RPG. I played it. I enjoyed it a lot, but it came out kind of low key. It wasn't one of those big, just trumpets blaring type thing where you're getting crazy marketing. It didn't.
No, that belongs to Horizon Zero Dawn.
Yeah, that's another good one from, I guess that might be maybe their game, but yeah, that's another one that's pretty good. I just look at the fact that they didn't have, for me, like a purely just boom standout game, where I look at the fact that Uncharted Lost Legacy kind of quietly dropped. So they're doing great. Sony's doing a lot of good games, but they're just dropping kind of just boom here, no fanfare, boom here, a whisper. So I don't know if that's good, but their games are good.
I challenge you, Johnny. And if they're dropping just little specks here and there, what's Microsoft got? What have they been dropping?
Yeah, so I guess we'll just hop into Microsoft side. We touched on Sony, unless you had something for Sony, Joshua.
I'll tell you what Microsoft dropped.
Big load.
Scalebound.
Yeah.
That's what they dropped. No. So I do agree that Sony has had a lot of good titles, and with the PlayStation experience coming at the end of this year, I think that's what they're saving. Their heavy hitters, their Last of Us 2, their God
excited.
of War. But we had Horizon, we had Lost Legacy and Uncharted, we had Neo, we had Nier, We had Persona. Yeah. So there's a lot of titles that are really good, really high graded quality games that are just kind of cruising through the radar.
Sorry, was Nier only PlayStation?
Yeah.
Wow, did not know that.
Yeah, so Sony has done a good job. They just didn't get, I think you agree with me, Josh. They didn't get that fanfare that Nintendo got on theirs, and we'll come to Nintendo as well on the game side. To answer your question, going back a couple minutes, Garrett, yeah, Microsoft had a rough year when it came to games. They didn't have any standout AAAs besides Forza 7, Cuphead, which is it's an indie title.
Yeah. They just came out.
Just came out.
Both of them.
Yeah, both of them just released. So, really, what anchored people grabbing an Xbox console if you didn't have one for most of 2017?
Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say older games, digital, arcade stuff, the games with gold. They've added more stuff to their marketplace as far as the interface with the Xbox One dashboard and the online community.
Yeah. We'll come to all the side stuff, but just games. Like what brings you for games?
There's no meat and potatoes. There's just that coleslaw macaroni salad no one likes.
I don't even like coleslaw.
I never put it on the plate, man.
Yeah, it's just been sitting there. No one touches it.
Flies are getting on it and no one wants it. Yeah, It's gross. Okay, so now we'll come to Nintendo. Talked about the other two. Thoughts on Nintendo?
Nintendo, in my opinion, as of right now, if we're going to take the last 9 months, I think Nintendo is winning the year. Mainly because they had a brand new console.
We'll talk about just their games.
I think Nintendo is winning because not only did they just come out of the gates crashing, but then they blew kind of the floodgates open right after that with Zelda starting off the year. Then you followed up with Mario Kart and Splatoon and ARMS. All the digital releases with the Neo Geo arcade games that are coming out, they have a lot of support and a lot of third-party support with Mario and Rabbids and a lot more coming. So they just keep throwing the indies and the digital stuff. So it's pretty crazy.
I just don't think Nintendo's going to win the year with Neo Geo. They got Metal Slug.
I like Metal Slug.
Metal Slug's fun. You going to buy a Switch for it? You can buy a Switch for Metal Slug?
No.
Okay.
No, but those are the extra stuff that you can buy in between your AAA titles. Everyone's got their little games that they buy on the side. I mean, we bought Cuphead, so.
Yeah.
Well, okay. So my quick thoughts, because I know Garrett's definitely gonna have some thoughts on Nintendo here. They killed it. I'm not a fanboy. I'm not a Nintendo fanboy at all. But every game every game or franchise that their fans wanted to have a game release had a release. Mario Kart got re-released with some extra stuff. Zelda had a new game. Kirby had like 2 games that are coming out.
Even Metroid.
Yeah, Metroid got a new game that people are actually happy about.
Federation Forces.
Star Fox 2 that dropped. Like every series got a game. That's freaking huge.
That's a good point. I actually wasn't thinking about that. I was more along the lines of, what have they really done? After Zelda came out, it's been maybe a big game a month. But when you think about that, that's actually a pretty decent pace.
Yeah. Mario Kart 8, again, I think I said that already, but Super Mario Odyssey's coming. Splatoon, yeah. They've made sure to cater to every niche of their fan base.
Yeah.
And they did it with big fanfare. I mean, their games are coming out. People are going crazy for Zelda and Splatoon 2 and all their games. So I think they took the cake with that side of it.
2 Fire Emblem games, one on the 3DS, which was okay. And then we got one coming up next month.
Mm-hmm.
In a couple weeks.
So, moving on to pricing. So this one we won't have to go over it too much, but Xbox, the lowest cost entry level you can get in at is $250 for a brand new console. That's $250. The Nintendo Switch is priced at $299, and the Sony PlayStation 4, also the lowest entry point, is at $299. So does that $50 make a difference? We talked about some of the games, and does that $50 maybe make it a little bit easier to slide into the Microsoft side, even if you can kind of have a lackluster lineup of games?
Sure does.
You think so? Okay.
Yeah. Because we've all worked retail at some point or another. The way I see a lot of console purchases it's split between people that are old enough to buy their own stuff and parents that are buying stuff for their kids. And if, parents are just calling everything the Nintendo like they used to do when we were growing up, they would just buy the cheapest system that has a huge catalog of games. They'll look at the wall, they'll see 1 or 2 games or characters they recognize or their kids recognize, and then they'll go off of that. So that $50 can make or break somebody's bank, so they're probably more inclined to do it that way. And if you're looking to buy a console that has multiple games on multiple systems, you'll probably spend it on the cheaper one.
I disagree. I don't think the $50 pay that much or matter that much. You spend the extra 50 and get the PlayStation 4, and personally, I think you have a much bigger selection to play games, because most of the games, like I would say 98% of games on the Xbox are also on PS4. I mean, they have, like what we've stated when it comes to exclusives, they have Halo, Forza, Gears, but that's all old stuff, you know?
Yeah, I think that's the thing is, I think Microsoft definitely has more titles overall on their console, but what have you done for me lately? What is available right now that's fresh and hot and new? I think Sony is winning that this year. And we rarely agree, Garrett, on a lot of things, but I happen to agree with you. I think that the $50 is very negligible. Now, I think that if the price was over $299, so let's say it was Microsoft coming in at $299 and then Nintendo and Sony entry level was $350. I think at that point, it's a much bigger difference, because I think once you get past $300, kind of your mindset on how much something costs or what it's worth kind of changes a little bit. Like, it just seems like a lot more money if it's $350 or $400 compared to $299.
Yeah, no, I can see that. I mean, it's still only an extra $50, but in your mind, you're like, well, I'm hitting 300 now.
Yeah, I'm over $300 versus I'm at $299 or whatever. So I think when you get higher than $300, then that $50 is a bigger difference, in my opinion.
Okay.
But yeah, it's negligible there. I don't think that, at least for Garrett and I don't think it's going to make or break, but for you think that sells consoles for him. That's good.
Yeah. And one kind of counterpoint, just how I feel, I do agree with what you guys are saying, but again, for those people that are making those choices to get those games exclusively, those are the ones that are choosing to buy that specific system, and they're probably spending their own money out of their own pocket, where people that don't really have that option or don't care about exclusives will probably get an Xbox, unless their friends have.
Maybe.
Yeah. That, you got to remember that is an important factor, what your friends are playing on.
Yep.
So, best, as far as updates, upgrades, some of those apps and the interfaces, all those extra things that go into it besides just the gaming, the Netflix apps, all those things, how are they doing there? So for my part, I think Xbox is just, they're running away with it. They have more apps, they have more programs, they have just more partnerships where you can stream a lot more and do a lot more with their console. They're killing it as far as being a multimedia device.
Not only all that, but it's a lot easier to navigate, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. I've never been a fan of the user interface for the Sony console.
The XMB?
Yeah, I don't like
Cross
it.
media bar.
Yeah. I think the Xbox One dashboard I don't even like that UI. It is easier to navigate and easier to find stuff.
No, it's not pretty. Don't get me wrong. It's not going to win any beauty contest.
No, but it is easier than Sony's. And just for all the new stuff that they've added on top of that, what's the game rental thing?
Game Pass.
Game Pass. So they added that, which I don't even know if a lot of people are really onto that compared to like PlayStation Now. But then they're constantly updating their program. Oh my God, I'm spacing out.
Xbox Live?
The Insider program. They're constantly adding stuff to that. I mean, it's free for everybody now, but there's different tiers. And Sony's not really doing anything to change any apps or peripherals or anything like that. I mean, they had the PSVR last year, and that really hasn't seen any movement, and that's all they have.
So you guys will be a little bit more hands-on for this, but Nintendo, how are they doing with all the peripherals, the extras, the updates?
Joshua, how's Netflix on Switch?
I didn't know they had it. When did they add that?
They didn't.
Oh, yeah. I mean, let's all be honest. Would we really watch Netflix on the Switch compared to every other device you have that you're already watching Netflix on?
This is coming from me, who does not believe in mobile devices, but yes, absolutely. I would love to have Netflix on the Switch while I'm taking a crap.
Do you guys Wii U still?
Yes, but it's not hooked up.
Okay, so last thing before we kind of make our decisions here, going that extra mile, like those little things, those random intangibles that you can't really put words into, but it's just getting it done for you. It's just making it all stick and hit and be clean. Who's doing that? Who's doing it the best?
Let's see, all the minutia.
For me, it goes Nintendo, Xbox, Sony. Like right now, there's always been like kind of, I don't want to say mysticism, but Nintendo has a lot of fans, man. And they've really found a way this year to like have a mind link with their fans. Like they drop the right games at the right time, the right prices, everything they hit the right way. It was like they just knew what the general amount, I mean, not every fan, but most of their fans wanted. And they're just on point. And this year's been great for them. I mean, even bringing back the NES Mini golly, that was a smart move.
I will hold off on judgment on that until I see one.
Right, but I mean, even the fact that they said, "Hey, we're bringing it back," right? I mean, old school Nintendo, and I say old school, but I mean more like Nintendo Wii and Wii U
Playing
Nintendo.
cards Nintendo?
No, like Nintendo Wii and Wii U Nintendo. Like they weren't bringing things back. They weren't remaking Xenoblade. Like whatever was out, and they've adapted. And then Microsoft, they're updating, they're adding things. They're doing Game Pass. They bought Mixer. It wasn't Mixer before, but they have their own streaming service. Mm-hmm. They're doing what they can, and maybe not having the game, but it's there. And I don't see that oomph from Sony. So there we go for me.
I'm probably slightly different. Don't get me wrong, Nintendo's doing fantastic. They're definitely they're up there. But when it comes to just kind of presentation or me personally, I give it to Xbox. Xbox is number one. When it comes to that, it just makes it easy where I can just, I can seamlessly go to a game like, okay, cool. I've had my fill, died too many times to that boss in Cuphead. Let me check out what's going on YouTube. It's in seconds. I'm now doing something else. Then, it goes to Nintendo. Nintendo's got the games. They are looking out for it. I mean, Fire Emblem. Fire Emblem's getting 2 games, Joshua. You pointed that out earlier. Mm-hmm. That's amazing. And Sony, I do think between Xbox and Sony, if you're just looking at games, I still am with, Sony's on top there. I think they have a bigger selection and they have more kind of, standout games. Horizon is fantastic. Persona I want to get into, but it's going to be one of those 100-hour games, if not more. But everything else, the media, the cross media bar, and it also doesn't have that fluidity.
Good word.
Thank you. that the Xbox has to jump from app to game, so, there's factors, but to just take kind of an all encompassing kind of thing, Microsoft, Nintendo, Sony.
Okay. That's Garrett's order.
Yeah. I'm more along the lines with you, Johnny. Nintendo, Microsoft, Sony. Nintendo's been very hesitant as far as what their next steps are. And with the Switch now laid out, we have the plan, we have the games that are coming out. So we kind of can project what will come within the next 4 to 8 months, give or take, going into early next year. So we have that plan set, and they've been pleasing people all year long, which is great, minus the virtual console. That's their only drawback. Microsoft is constantly adding stuff. We just need the games. They dropped the ball with Crackdown. They really dropped it with Scalebound, which that's kind of its own thing. And I didn't think they really showed up at E3. So I hope within the next year, once the Scorpio or the Xbox One X, drops, that they really fine tune, back to what Phil Spencer has always been talking about. It's about the games.
That's still a stupid name though.
We'll see if it influences them. But yeah, so just to recap, so Garrett, you had Microsoft, Nintendo, Sony. Joshua, you're saying, the best consoles this year goes Nintendo, Microsoft, Sony. Then I also agree with you, Joshua. It's Nintendo, Microsoft, Sony.
I think Sony is going to pull a fast one on us at PlayStation experience. Seeing what Nintendo has done when no one believed in the Switch. Nobody believed in their presentation when they first unveiled it early in January. And then all of a sudden you see this traction, and it's just been a snowball, and it's still rolling downhill. I think Sony is going to bring something heavy. I really hope they do, because they have to blow people away to get them prepared for next year. So hopefully we get that in December.
We'll see what they do. So fan favorites, this is our first gaming segment of this podcast today. We picked 10 rapid fire questions, and each of us answers to find out where we stand opposed and where we stand united in fandom. So play along and let's find out what are your fan favorites. All right. So, Garrett, it was, your week. So you had the pick, you had the theme. So what you dropping on us?
Well, everyone from all their hidden villages are on their way. It's the big event. It's the big fight. We got ninjas, lots of ninjas. And they're ready to become Genins? The Chunins.
They start off as Genin, and then they become Chunin.
What's after that?
Then it's Jonin.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. But this is the Chunin exams.
And then they're actually ninjas.
All right, so we got some ninjas. All right, so I'm going to name them off, and just name which one you think would win in a fight. One-on-one.
Okay, winners. Gotcha.
Winners. All right, first up. Gray Fox or Genji?
Gray Fox.
Gray Fox.
Gray Fox. Electra or Raphael?
Raphael.
Raphael.
Strider from Strider or Leonardo?
Strider.
Leonardo.
Strider. Taki from Soul Calibur or Michelangelo.
Taki.
Michelangelo.
Taki. Sheik or Donatello.
Sheik.
Sheik.
Sheik. Joe Musashi from Shinobi or Ryu Hayabusa from Ninja Gaiden.
Ryu. Sorry.
Ryu.
I'm gonna go Ryu. All right, this one's a group. League of Assassins or the Court of Owls.
I don't know anything about the court, so I'm going to go the League.
League of Assassins.
I'm gonna go with Court of Owls. Next up, Naruto or Ra's al Ghul.
Ra's al Ghul?
Nope, Ra's al Ghul.
Naruto.
Russ.
I'm gonna go Ra's al Ghul. Next up, Storm Shadow or Snake Eyes. Both from G.I. Joe.
Oh, okay. Which one's the black one? The black ninja. Is that Storm Shadow?
Oh, that's Roadblock.
Snake Eyes is the black one.
Okay. Snake Eyes.
Snake Eyes.
Snake Eyes. And last but not least, Scorpion or Sub-Zero.
Scorpion.
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 All right. Let's break this down.
All right, starting back at the top of the list, Gray Fox or Genji.
I mean, Gray Fox is like a cyber ninja who literally can't die. Just the way he just handles things in Metal Gear, he's a beast.
I mean, in Genji's defense, he's also a cyborg ninja, but I just don't think he has that killing factor that Gray Fox has.
Nope.
Not at all. No.
Enough said.
Listeners agree with us. 100% of our listeners said Gray Fox.
Mother. All right, next up, Electra or Raphael.
Raphael's too mean. He's not going to back down.
Raphael can beat almost every single person on this list, so Raphael, of course.
Okay, no, but
I feel that's a little biased.
it's a little bit. It is.
Cool but rude, man. That's all I got to say.
Rude doesn't always win.
I'm gonna go Raphael. Sure, Electra may have some cool ninja moves, but I mean, against a hard shell, plus Raph's just for
He's Raph.
yeah,
He's ferocious.
He's Raph and also Raph.
Yep. So 100% of our listeners again agreed Raphael took that fight.
All right, next up we got Strider or Leonardo.
I want to hear why you're not choosing Strider.
I mean, Leo's a good fighter. He's the only person out of the Turtles and in that universe I could even hope to withstand Raphael and survive for a little
I
bit.
mean, Donatello could hold his own against Raph.
Can we be serious for a second, Garrett?
He can hold his own.
No, come on now, dude. We're having a serious discussion here. He would get just okay. That's another discussion. That's something for. I think Leo could hold his own and beat Strider.
Not against Strider. Strider's got type A and B weapons. Plus he can teleport, or he moves so fast it looks like he can teleport. He's clinging off of walls. He fights against Marvel and Capcom characters.
I mean, yeah, I don't think Leo could fight against Marvel or Capcom characters.
I think Raph could. All right, so so our listeners, 66.7% said Leonardo would win the fight. So boom,
Because they don't know Strider. It's okay.
Next up, Taki from Soul Calibur or Michelangelo.
Your nunchucks are not going to do anything.
not to
care.
a turtle.
Well, good thing Taki doesn't use nunchucks.
Not at all.
Oh, she's not the. Okay, never. No, she's the. Okay, I know which one she is now. She's the one with the red daggers.
Yep,
and
yep,
stuff.
yep.
Still, Mikey would wreck her.
No, Mikey's way too playful. He does not take things seriously.
Yeah, he doesn't need to be serious because he's just that beast.
Does he have a thing for good looking women?
He's not one of those.
Yes, he does.
No, he doesn't. Please don't take the personification from the Michael Bay movie.
He's all over April.
God,
That's
Well,
dude.
that's by
All right.
default.
Well, anyway, 100% of our listeners chose Michelangelo
Because nobody's ever played Soul
as the
Calibur.
winner of that fight.
yeah. Anyway, moving on. Sheik or Donatello.
I mean,
Is Donatello. He couldn't beat himself in a fight. Like they would both lose.
Do you hear yourself?
They would just both lose.
What if he didn't have a bow staff and he had a different weapon?
He would still lose. He's still Don. He's the nerd turtle. Nerd.
It's like saying Billy couldn't fight in Power Rangers.
He could not fight. That was literally a point of one of the episodes.
He fought.
Yeah, but he wasn't good at fighting.
Well, I guess when you make that comparison.
Anyway, Sheik or Donatello.
Yeah, I mean,
Sheik.
So
Deadly Ninja,
yeah.
Secret Princess.
Plus, again, it could be Dora the Explorer fighting Donatello, and he would still lose.
Results, sir.
66.7% of our listeners chose Sheik as the winner.
Closer than you thought, huh?
I just want to point out that every turtle won their fight except Donatello. So there's that.
Because nobody knows.
No one knows who Taki is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right, whatever. Joe Musashi or Ryu Hayabusa.
Ryu's like one of the deadliest ninjas like ever. Like I don't think anybody on this list can beat Ryu.
Except Raphael.
Raphael is not going to beat Ryu.
You get off his nuts?
I like his...
You like his nuts?
His turtle nuts? Yeah.
Wow. Nobody's beating Ryu on this list.
All right.
I don't care.
Fine.
But I mean, how badass of a ninja can you be with a name like Joe?
True. That's a fair point. I mean, you can't fear him, or he can't have a legendary like
Ninja Joe.
or he can't have like a legendary like what do you call it? Dang it. Words. They're escaping me. His
Nindo?
his legacy.
His ninja way?
No, his legacy, like his renown. Like you can't be renowned through the land and your name is Joe.
Reputation?
Yeah.
Nah,
Ninja
it's
Joe,
hard.
the last
And every
Hokage.
listener agreed with us. 100% chose Ryu as the winner of that fight.
Yeah. All right. League of Assassins or the Court of Owls.
All right. This is between you guys because I don't know owls. So
I'm sorry. The Court of Owls aren't fighters. They're schemers. They're not fighters. They don't fight
the
Batman.
Talons is more what I'm going with here.
You probably should have said Talons.
I mean, they're part of the Court of Owls. What more do you want?
They're more like slaves of the court, but
They work for the Court of Owls. Well, work is that's a stretch, but they serve the Court of Owls.
yeah. I mean, I still think they'd lose, but that's just
Fair
me.
enough. Court of Owls don't die.
The
The
Talons don't die, but all they got to do is be cold, and then they're immobile, and that's it.
Yeah, but I mean, and then the League of Assassins, they don't all come back. It's really just Ra's al Ghul that comes back.
But
Talia.
his network of assassins is much vaster than the Court of Owls. His network spans thousands and thousands of years. Court of Owls does not.
I don't know.
Court of Owls originates in Gotham when Gotham was created and built.
Yeah. No, I
So-
got that part, but I just think the Talons are just much more fierce and deadly.
Fair enough. Well, the listeners agree with me. I just want to point out as well, the listeners have agreed with every single one of my choices so far. 66.7% chose League of Assassins. Thanks, guys.
All right. Next up, Naruto or Naruto, Ra's al Ghul.
Is it even a question?
I mean, Ra's al Ghul, he's the head of the snake.
mm-hmm.
I don't think I have to say anything in Naruto's defense.
I mean,
He can literally blow up mountains.
he
and
couldn't even do a clone. He couldn't make a clone.
Yeah, in episode 1.
Yeah, he gets schooled, man.
Yeah, I don't know where in that timeline we're talking about, but
Yeah, there's
even if he obliterates
I'm not
Raz,
even-
Raz comes back to life.
I'm not even gonna argue.
Got a Lazarus pit.
It does not.
Naruto
does not
doesn't have a
matter.
Lazarus pit.
He's sick.
Didn't you choose Naruto?
I don't remember.
You chose Naruto. What are you
I don't
doing?
know.
Anyway, listeners chose Naruto. 66% chose Naruto. It's obvious. Just I'm sorry. So yeah,
It was close though. All right, next, Storm Shadow or Snake Eyes.
It's been so long since I watched G.I. Joe.
I just
The one with
chose
the Rock.
Yeah,
And
sure.
Marlon
that one too.
Wayans?
Yeah.
I just chose Snake Eyes because he's the good guy.
Mm.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they're both like just even. Just Snake Eyes is the good guy, so automatically he has plot armor and he wins.
Probably.
That's how it
That's
goes.
how these things work normally. 66% of our listeners chose Snake Eyes. Probably also because he's the good eye. Good eye.
He's the
Good
good guy.
guy. So there
Snake
we go.
guy.
Yeah.
All right, and last, Scorpion or Sub-Zero.
I mean, Scorpion's already murdered Sub-Zero. That's fact. It's
Yeah,
canon.
but in Mortal Kombat 9, he gets tricked into thinking that Sub-Zero murdered his entire clan.
So still, Scorpion, the original Sub-Zero from Mortal Kombat 1 is dead. Scorpion murdered him, and then his brother took over his mantle. So it's already been decided.
Okay. Yeah, that doesn't answer the question. So I
What?
think that doesn't answer who was going to win in the fight originally as far as skill versus will. You're just saying, oh yeah, they made it canon. Like what if they flipped it? Are you going to vote Sub-Zero?
Yes.
Oh, okay, this guy. Okay, so I think Scorpion's going to win because as much as Sub-Zero has ice powers and he can use that for offense, he can use that for defense.
Yeah.
He has a lot of variations, but Scorpion has a teleport. And I think you can get around a lot of stuff with teleport, Hellfire, and just his whole grapple.
Doesn't Sub-Zero also have a teleport? Like a ice port?
No, he essentially can make a clone of himself, but it's not really a teleport. He makes an ice clone.
Okay. But I just went with the fact that fire melts ice, so...
I mean, it depends on how hot the
But
fire or how
pop.
cold the ice. So
What? What did you just say?
I don't know. Just saying nonsense.
What the heck are you talking about?
Oh man, fire melts ice.
Oh man, so 83% of our listeners chose Scorpion, 16.7% chose Subby. So that's fan favorites, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed. Hopefully you had fun with that theme. If you have ideas or thoughts for next week's theme, reach out to us. You can email us, contact@scspodcast.net. You can also reach us on Twitter @SuperCoopSquad. So talk to us there, and we're moving on. All right. So Capcom, we got a bunch of just a gaggle of news, a gaggle of gaming news for Capcom.
Corner.
Gaggle?
Yeah, that's a good word for it. Gaggle of gaming news. So Capcom, Street Fighter V, and Marvel versus Capcom. Marvel versus Capcom Infinite. So Capcom announces they're re-releasing Street Fighter V. Street Fighter V Arcade Edition.
Sorry, stop. Redo that, please. Please redo that.
Street Fighter V Arcade Edition.
No, redo that again.
I'm saying it correctly, sir.
Damn it, just say Street Fighter 5.
But it's a V.
Yes.
So they got new arcade mode, new V triggers, a bunch of stuff. You can go down this list, Joshua, because a lot of this is stuff that you're more interested in and know more about. So, what stands out for you as far as being worth a pickup?
All right. So for me, this conversation for me is more geared towards what Capcom is doing, less than what Street Fighter is doing. Because when we look at Street Fighter V before it came out, there was a lot of hype, there was a lot of excitement, but then we knew that we weren't getting a whole lot of modes. And Johnny, you were one of those people that said, I'm not going to spend $60 for 10% of a game. So they said that they're never going to re-release this game. I don't know if that's quoted, but what they're doing is they are essentially re-releasing it in two different ways. So it's Street Fighter V Arcade Edition. So this game is going to get a reskin box. So essentially it's going to be a new disc. It's going to come with an arcade mode that's been, we've been waiting for that for a long time. New V-trigger setups, a new battle mode, revamped UI, new skins, stages, gallery. So it's essentially a updated version of the game that is going to come out on its own disc. It's going to have all of season 1 and 2 characters, but for some reason, those extra seasonal characters are going to be on a code and not built into the disc. So that's kind of weird. So I don't know if they did that so that way you don't buy it and just give the disc to other people to install for those characters. I don't know. But for those that have already purchased the game, you get a free update to get all this content. So they are still keeping the promise where if you buy the game once, you have everything forever.
I say that's dumb because you can just, maybe you already have all the characters, but you just want the new case or some of these new modes, and you're just like, okay, well, I'll just sell the code online then.
So there's a lot of people are talking about that, but that's the same of a Game of the Year edition, right? You buy a game 1 or 2 years later, and all the stuff that you originally had to purchase before is now free with the package.
It's on the disc. It's not in codes.
It depends on the game. Some is digital codes that come with a regular Game of the Year looking disc. The point is that down the line, the content that you paid for at launch is probably going to be free for somebody else.
Yeah.
So it's not here nor there. So this is going to come out on January 16th of next year. The game's going to be $40 if you buy it straight up, or again, if you already have the game, then you're going to get this DLC for free. I think it's good that Capcom is still trying to do things to reinvent this game and to still bring excitement, hype, and they're trying to do right by the wrongs that they have by not including arcade mode, not including story mode in the beginning. And they don't want this franchise to die. So for me, I think it's good that Capcom is still trying to do something. They're still putting a lot into the Pro Tour. They're still putting a lot into their tournaments. So for me, that it's good to see that they're still doing something versus just giving up on a franchise that people have kind of already given up on. In your case, Johnny.
I think I'm not too far off base in saying that Street Fighter 4 revitalized fighting games.
Absolutely correct.
So what I'm getting at here is to make that game and then fall so far back. I don't know if this is enough. Especially when one of your selling points is arcade mode. that's supposed to come with the game.
Have they released the full story mode yet? Has that been released?
Yeah, that released
the full campaign thing.
Yeah, it's different for previous games. Like story mode is kind of built into arcade mode. Story mode was its own cinematic thing, and that's been out for months.
All right.
Yeah.
I honestly think that it's time to move on to the next Street Fighter, in my opinion.
Really think so?
They flubbed this one up enough to where it's only the diehard fans that are playing it. And you mentioned that, Capcom is going all in for the Pro Tour and their competitive scene. but who does the competitive scene truly cater to? It caters to the people that are the most engrossed into it. That's your minority, not the majority. So how do you get your casual fans to become invested in the game again?
Arcade mode.
But I think it's too late. The hype for you to get them to get that $40 or $60 sale is gone.
Yeah, I agree with that. But do you just say we're just going to scrap and start over? I mean, you have a game that's been out for a year. Are you really going to drop that entire game and make another brand new game hoping that you're going to have a fresh start?
Well, this game has been out longer than a year. It came out in 2015.
It'll be 2 years in February, yeah.
So I think personally, yeah, it's been 2 years. You start development, and by 2018, late 2018, early 2019, you drop your next game. In my opinion.
I think that's too much. I mean, Street Fighter 4 did wonders when it came out, but did we really need 5 versions of that game?
So sure. So what you're saying is that they maybe mismanaged their DLC, but the initial game got people invested because it was a full product right out of the box. And you can play that full product regardless of whether you get the DLC or not. And this is predicated on the fact that you kind of need the DLC to have a full game.
To experience the game.
That's not cool.
Yeah. I do appreciate that if you already have the game, it's free.
Yeah,
I think that's good. But I don't know if it's enough to get me in.
I don't think it's going to be enough to bring a lot of people back in, but I think it shows what Capcom is trying to do. I mean, they had pretty decent success with the Switch version of Ultra Super Street Fighter 2 Challengers Edition or whatever. Sold quite more. I think it sold more copies than Street Fighter 5 did. But the competitive, that little niche, it's thriving on this game, even though it's kind of sideways on how they're doing some characters and whatnot. But there's a lot of, let me rephrase that. There's enough talk about that game that makes them want to do more versus not doing it.
That's fair.
I think that will slowly reach some fans that will eventually come back. It's not going to be enough to flip the coin.
Well, here's something you got to consider as well. I can't think of any game that gets more popular the longer it's out. Your initial threshold of when you release is, and maybe the 6 month or 8 month window after that, that's when you get the biggest, just hugest fan base, and then you maintain that fan base as best you can. But if you start off and then you fall just a dramatic amount because you didn't have content or whatever, it's very hard to get those games back, to get those fans back to play your game. What game can you think of that there were more people playing by the end of its season than in the beginning? It just doesn't happen. So I think that's where they got to look at. And then, the other side I look at is with Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, another Capcom fighter, they're mishandling it. They have the same characters that the last game had. The characters look bad. I don't even know if it's an issue right now of if Capcom can make a new Street Fighter and do well. They might have to look internally at what they're doing wrong in making these new fighting games, because this is now 2 in a row that fans generally weren't happy with upon release.
Yeah, and I was going to touch on that real quickly. If you look at both the games, people don't like them for different reasons. People didn't like Street Fighter because it didn't come complete. People don't like Marvel because most of the characters don't look great, and the story mode was terrible. So when you look at what they're doing between both games, they have flaws, and they also have some really good stuff. Like the gameplay in Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite is phenomenal, and you're going to get a lot of people that really are into fighting games and really like Marvel in general, like the old school Capcom games. They really like Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite. It's just hard to look at when you see it's not polished.
And that's a problem for me. And, normally back in the day when Capcom and maybe a couple other companies, Namco were the only ones, with their Soul Calibur Tekken series, when they were the only ones making great fighting games, you didn't have a choice but to go to them. So no matter what they gave you, you just accepted it as the best there is. But when I look at Dragon Ball, Z, or Dragon Ball Fighter Z coming out, people are going crazy for it and loving the demo. When I look at Injustice, the latest Tekken that came out, and the way that these games are being handled, Mortal Kombat, they are going above and beyond to make excellent fighters with fully fleshed out complete modes. And I feel Capcom has just fallen way far back behind the pack in that regard.
Yeah, they've dropped the ball.
So that's kind of my last thought on it. I don't know if you have anything else, but I want them to get away from this and just move on to something better and look at your process and fix it.
I don't think you can, because if you have let's say these last two games and even Street Fighter Cross Tekken that didn't do too well, are people really going to buy whatever their new thing is, even if it looks as good as Dragon Ball Fighters?
I think so. I think if you take the example of Street Fighter 4, when at that point in time, was that 2008 or 9, when no one thought fighting games were worth a darn, when no one was buying fighting games, it came out to everyone's surprise and rocked the world and sold gangbusters, made Street Fighter and fighting games relevant again. People buy quality. So if you make it quality, people will buy it.
Yeah. But now we have an overinsurgence on fighting games, so it's, if you're not going to buy one, there's so many others you can play versus when Street Fighter 4 came out, you
got to make yours worth playing.
Yeah, make yours worth playing. And I would argue that the fact that there's so many that's popular now makes it easier for you to get, people to buy it compared to when Street Fighter 4 came out and people weren't buying fighting games just out of habit. So, yeah. But yeah, that's our thoughts on Capcom, Street Fighter, some of the new updates, what they should do going forward, what should they do now, if what they're doing now is good. What do you think? Let us know what you think about these games, Capcom, and their process. Email us, contact@scspodcast.net. Reach us on Twitter @SuperCoopSquad. There's links for all of that stuff in the details and description of the episode for you. So just click that summary, click the link, and chat with us. All right, time for Gamer Trivia. So every week, 2 of us go head-to-head in a best-of-5 trivia contest. Winner stays and plays again for the next week. Loser makes next week's trivia. So play along. Let's see just how much gaming knowledge you have in Gamer Trivia. All right, so Garrett, you won 2 in a row. You're up for your 3-peat here.
Yes, sir.
You burned down Joshua last week in the Power Rangers trivia, so great job.
Thank you.
And it's my turn.
It's morphin' time.
Yeah, well, last week was morphin' time. What do you got
What's
for
this week?
It's Mario time.
Oh, it's Mario.
It's Mario time.
Uh-oh.
So
God.
I'm on this Nintendo phase right now.
Oh, that's fair.
Haven't
Odyssey's almost out.
Haven't we done Mario before?
Yeah, but I don't think we've done Super Mario 64.
I mean, ooh.
All right, let's go.
Have you not played this game
Yes,
before?
I didn't
He doesn't
own a
have a
Nintendo
64. Yeah.
But let's go.
I don't like it when you turn me down like that right before I jump on a trivia. Because you give up. The last 2 times you gave up, you won.
It's true.
I don't think that's true. But let's go. Come on. Let's go. Let's do
Now
it.
you want to rush through it? Jeez. Well, I had a bit, and I don't even want to do the bit anymore because Johnny turned me down.
Woohoo!
All right. Question number 1. There was a Nintendo DS version or a remake of Super Mario 64. Which character was not playable in this version of the game? Is it A, Luigi, B, Wario, C, Yoshi, D, Princess Peach, or E, they were all playable in the remake of this game? I have Johnny's answer. I have Garrett's answer. He's squinting real hard. Johnny, you said D, Princess Peach was not a playable character in this game. Garrett, you also said Princess Peach was not playable in this version of the game. The correct answer is D, Peach was not a playable character in this game. So that is correct for both of you. Johnny, you get a point. And Garrett, you also get a point. Score is 1-1. Question number 2. One of the fun things about this game was you would run into some slides in this game. How many slides are there in the Super Mario 64 game? Is it A, 2 slides, B, 3 slides, C, 4 slides, or D, are there 5 slides in this game? I have Garrett's answer. I have Johnny's answer. You guys are going to hate me. Sorry. Later on. All right. Johnny, you said A, there are 2 slides in this game. And Garrett, you also said there are 2 slides in this game.
I thought you didn't play this game, Johnny.
I didn't.
Get out of my head. The correct answer is B. There are 3 slides in this game.
Can't remember the third one. There's the ice one
Yep.
with the penguin.
Yep.
There was the one in Peach's Castle.
Yep. And Tall Tall Mountains, the super long version of the slide.
Tall Mountain. I got nothing.
It's like the chocolate looking world with the big mushrooms, the monkey.
There's a slide there.
Yeah, there's a slide there.
Oh.
Remember the monkey that's got the
I
star
remember
hidden
the
up in the
monkey.
mountain?
I remember the monkey.
Yeah, it's in that level.
Sorry.
Cool. So that is incorrect for both of you guys. Score is still tied 1-1. Fun fact number 1.
Ooh, a fun fact.
Yes. Today, there are 2 coins in the Super Mario 64 game that are considered impossible to get. Even with glitch exploitation and task tricks, one coin is hidden underground in a larger version of one of the islands in a level, and another one is an unreachable mystery Goomba in the Bowser's Floating Castle. So essentially, there are 3 Goombas that are supposed to spawn, but one spawns in an area Mario can't get to. So there are 2 coins that you just can't get in the game. And people are trying to glitch to find it, and they can't do it.
I bet.
They can do it. Question number 3. Which of Mario's classic enemies is not referenced in this game at all? Is it A, a Bullet Bill, B, Lakitu, C, Paratroopa, or D, Chain Chomp?
Answers one more time.
All right. You guys need the question again? All right. A, Bullet Bill, B, Lakitu, C, Paratroopa, or D, Chain Chomp? I have Johnny's answer. I have Garrett's answer. I'll just say it. You guys have both picked the same answer for the third question in a row. You both said C, Paratroopa is not in the game at all, and that is the correct answer. So another point for both of you guys. Score is tied 2-2.
I never played this game. I didn't have a 64.
I didn't.
Question number 4. What is the name of the rabbit-like creature you chase in the basement who's always running with a star in its hand? Is it A, Alpha, B, Mips, C, Hops, or D, Ribbit?
Repeat those?
A, Alpha, B, Mips, that's M-I-P-S, C, Hops, or D, Ribbit?
I swear if this rabbit's name is Ribbit.
Hey, you got to pick your answer. I have Garrett's answer. And I have...
You don't have my answer yet.
I figured it would go through by now. And I have Johnny's answer. Oh, we got different answers this time.
This is the one that makes me lose right here.
Johnny, you said B, Mips was the name of that rabbit. Garrett, you took a chance and said D, Ribbit.
It sounds kind of familiar.
It's probably Ribbit.
Well, the correct answer is B. Yeah. It is Mips.
Wow.
Darn it.
I'm getting so lucky. I am literally guessing.
I never played this game. Hurry up. Hurry up. Get it over with.
I just said I am guessing. I am literally picking a letter and just hoping for the best.
Well, you're up a point. So hit that bell. And Garrett, you get the buzzer. The score is 3-2 in Johnny's favor. Fun fact number 2. Mario and Mips, the rabbit, were the first 2 characters created in the game. Mips was named after the microprocessor that was used in the Nintendo 64 when this game was being created. This was extensively used in the early test simulations, but the development team liked the idea of having Mips, and they kept him in the game. So essentially, they used that format to test the game, and they're like, oh, we're just going to keep him in here. We like him.
Find a spot for him.
Yeah, they did. They had 2 stars. Question number 5. Which of these was not one of the worlds in Super Mario 64? Is it A, Cool Cool Mountain? Is it B, Dry Sand Land? Is it C, Tiny Huge Island? Or D, Tick Tock Clock? I have Garrett's answer. I have Johnny's answer. Both of you had said B, Dry Sand Land is not one of the worlds. The correct answer is B. That is not the name of it. It's actually Shifting Sandland. So it is a sand world. So that is correct. Both of you get another point. Score is 4-3 in Johnny's favor. Well. It's about that time. I'm glad that this all worked out because Johnny can't complain that he didn't know anything, that he's so far behind because he never had a 64 or played one of the best Mario games ever. But it is time to place your bets in the Salty Runback. Everybody knows how this works. You bet however many points you want. If you get the question right, you gain that many points. If you get the question wrong, you lose that many points. And this is a good question. I have Johnny's bet and I have Garrett's bet. Johnny, you can't be mad because we're going one question with one answer. You guys ready?
Yes.
Mario reads a letter from Princess Peach inviting him to come to visit her at her castle. What is the reason Princess Peach invites Mario to the castle? No, it was not to Netflix and chill. All right, I have Garrett's answer. I have Johnny's answer. So I'm gonna do Johnny's first. So why did Princess Peach invite Mario to the castle? Johnny, you put
Bow chicka wow wow.
she needs to show him something.
Huh.
I thought that was a serious answer, but now I know it's not. And Garrett, you said for a birthday.
I was gonna say that
for
too.
Peach's birthday.
Peach's birthday.
Both of you are incorrect.
Oh God.
Garrett, you were close. The correct answer is she made Mario a cake.
Damn
so
it.
she invited
It
him
wasn't
over
even-
to have some cake.
It wasn't even a celebration or anything.
Nope. It was just to have a cake.
Damn it.
And not that kind of cake, Johnny. So Johnny, Johnny's putting his arms up, and Garrett, I think he knows why.
Yeah, he bet
because
0 points.
Johnny with the points had 4, but he bet 0, so he loses 0 points. Garrett had 3 points. He bet 2. That brings him down to 1.
Yes, sir.
Johnny is this week's dethroner and trivia champion.
I need to keep that in mind, that when it's time to answer a question, I don't know it, just put in whatever. Just put something dumb.
It's fun.
And bet
It's fun to
nothing.
do. It's easy.
I will keep that in mind.
I mean, you really hated Lady in Red, and that was a joke answer.
Wahoo!
Yeah, and you would. You
Yeah,
would.
I
with
bet
it.
0 points. Okay, so Johnny,
It's a me, a Johnny.
I want to hear no more. I'm going to say it like this. I want to hear no more from you and my trivia that you consistently keep winning when you supposedly don't know anything or don't know any references.
Okay.
Don't want to hear it anymore.
All
just
right.
play the game. Be happy about it, because I'll just give it over to Garrett next time.
All right.
If you don't
No
want
more.
to play.
No more mercy now with
All right.
trivia.
Well,
Got it.
that was trivia, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed. I pulled out a win that I don't think I should have, but
Pull
hey,
the MIPS out of your hat.
You shouldn't.
here, the salt. So Steam deletes over 200 games from its online store. So the online gaming client removed a ton of games that were generally considered shovelware and were largely considered to be asset flipping using pre-purchase kits. So just to quickly go over those two terms. So shovelware is a game that is made very quickly and developed and produced and just thrown up or distributed with very little time put into its processes, and usually have a ton of bugs or quirks that might make the game unplayable or just generally unfun. Asset flipping is when a company purchases kind of pre-constructed levels or designs or parts of a game, and they just use those pre-constructed development code to make their game without doing very much actual work themselves, besides maybe changing colors or fonts and things of that nature and putting things in an order that looks different.
Like Flappy Bird?
No, Flappy Bird's not a... I see your point, because Flappy Bird looks like Mario, but it didn't take like pre-existing code that someone sold to make the game.
Fair.
So imagine like some random platformer that, I don't know.
Lucky's Tale.
No, like think like some Flash game, and you could be 20 of these Flash, side scrolling games. They all look different, but they're the same game, like that. So several of the companies who were hit hard, and had tons of games removed expressed outrage at the removal. So I don't think we have to dispute whether it's right or wrong that these were removed, but how closely should you think, unless you guys think that maybe, I really don't think you guys disagree with this situation.
I don't know. I want to play devil's advocate here and say,
Well, before we do that, do you believe?
that's where I'm going at here. See, I suppose on the fence. I'm leaning on the fence, but I'm on the fence.
Okay.
Is it fair for someone to deem that this is unworthy, or this was just thrown out here for, shovelware or asset flipping? What if that was someone's, what if they really worked on it? And I mean, they didn't do a good job because maybe they don't know too much about it, but they had a dream. I want to make a game. I don't know much about making games. This is what I can do.
The shovelware side of it, I think maybe would be an unfair reason to remove someone's game if it was thrown up or it appeared to be thrown up hastily, had a lot of bugs and glitches. Maybe that gets a pass, and we'll come back to it. But asset flipping, when you have a game that are just done based on pre-constructed development code.
Yeah, no, that's
yeah, that needs to go.
Yeah.
You did nothing. You did nothing but purchase this content and then rearrange some
change
things.
your color.
Yeah, so no, that needs to go 100%.
You're practically a scalper. You just flipping product. I'm not okay with that. Even as far as shovelware. I mean, if you're one company and you have 100 titles and like 40 of them are shovelware, like, do you really need 40 titles on there?
Yes, I agree.
So I'm on the side where, Steam as a client, they can take down whatever they want. Like Microsoft, not to segue too far, but Microsoft has a marketplace. They can add or remove whatever games they want. So Steam can say, well, you don't need 40 titles when this other company maybe has a title that is going to sell well. And even at that point, if you have some games that just nobody's buying, does it still deserve to be on that shelf, so to speak?
Yeah, I agree with you. And you brought up a great point that Microsoft gets to make the decision. Same thing with Steam. I'm sure that when a game gets put up on Steam, there's all kind of agreements that say, hey, we have the right to remove your game from our store. Mm-hmm. If I owned a bookstore and I didn't want to sell your book, I don't have to. And also, I look at the fact that if you are releasing a game that's got bugs and is glitchy and broken, then it's not ready to be released. And if that shouldn't be in my store then. So that's how I feel. We all kind of have our opinions there. But what do you think qualifies? So Garrett, you kind of were on the fence a little bit as to when a game should or shouldn't be removed. What's that point when it's like, okay, this has got to go?
Like I said, when it comes to like shovelware, you don't know if someone was just throwing it out there just because, or in the hopes of making money. At the same time, you don't want your store to just be overflowing with just, games and stuff. You're trying to scroll down the list, trying to get down to Z, and you have to go down through, 2,000 titles for each letter because people are just throwing stuff out. So I suppose maybe when it comes to that point, maybe have it set where that this company or this developer can only have X amount of games. If you want to make another game, you have to choose one, or one has to go. Maybe they don't choose, but you kind of have a limit as far as that. I think that keeps it fair.
Okay. I think absolutely it depends on the quality of the game. And I want to look at the fact that these are independent developers for the most part, small groups or one person. If these people are taking advantage of Steam and other clients and throwing up garbage, that makes all the people who are actually trying to make great games look bad. Because if you have 400 developers making crap and one guy doing good, he's lost in the just utter garbage surrounding him. So people go, oh, I don't want to go to Steam. They got a bunch of garbage games. And now they can never find the one good guy. Or maybe they do, but it takes a lot more work, or he has to get super lucky. Super lucky. I don't think that that's a fair way to do business, for Steam, for those people, or anyone, or for the purchasers.
Yeah. And I want to go back on something you touched on earlier. I'm sure there's some type of contract or contractual obligation or some type of statement or agreement saying what you can put on the marketplace, what you can't. We don't know if they essentially broke some rules. We don't know if they did too much. Like, we don't know any of that. We're not even in a place where we can understand what those rules are. But developer, if you're upset because they took down your stuff, like, are you trying to find out the reason why, or are you just bad mouthing Steam because they dropped your game? Is there a reason behind it? Is there something wrong with it? Or is there literally no sales? Like, if you want the game to still be on there, you should be fighting for your game, which I'm hoping some of these people are trying to do, versus just complaining about it and not really trying to do something about it.
Well, some of these companies, say that with Indies, quotations, yeah. They have, 50 to 100, some of them more games on Steam. How do you have that many games as an independent developer? Like, what kind of time are you putting into your title? Microsoft as a publisher or Capcom, they can't make 20 games a year. Even if they did like side scrollers, they can't make 20 a year. So how can you?
Yeah. Thing about indie games is they can be something super small. It could be one form factor type of game that just has an infinite loop. Like, get as far as you can without dying, but you have X amount of power-ups and enemies. And it doesn't have to be a full-fledged, like, 80-hour game.
Well, no, but no game takes days to make. How can you be a company from 2015 to now and have 40 games?
It can happen.
I challenge that and disagree. I don't think that anything would be quality for you to have.
I'm not arguing like the quality. I'm saying that if you really want to put 40 trash titles on there, it's possible.
Right, but that's my point. So it's trash because if you put anything halfway freaking decent, it's going to take you 6 months, a year. I mean, we went to PlayStation Experience and other events where we saw independent games, that little, I can't remember the name of it, but we saw a Metroidvania game.
Chasm.
That didn't look crazy good, right? I mean, as far as the scope of what
visual?
It is. Huh?
As far as visually?
Yeah, visually, the scope of what it is, it's a side-scrolling platformer, it's 2D. But
16-bit or something like that?
Yeah, it's 16-bit, but it did not take that guy a week, right? It took him work. Is it even out yet? It's not even out yet.
Not out yet, no.
So he's putting in work on a 2D sprite game that is, 20 years past its prime, and it's still taking him a long time to make a good game. That's where I'm at.
Yeah, I don't disagree.
So last couple things here. Is shovelware, I think we can kind of most agree, asset flipping is bad, not good. Is shovelware an issue for the industry? Is that a problem, or is it good? Is it bad?
No, it is. It's, well, in my opinion, shovelware is a bad thing. That's why I think, if you're gonna be a client that people can just load up games or put games on your marketplace, treat it like a what are we calling them? Companies, publishers,
developers.
Okay. These developers are, making a game. They're new to it. So, you guys are allowed 3 games. Okay. If those 3 games sell, X amount, then we can bump you up to 5 games, 10 games, that kind of a tier system where it shows loyalty and that you're actually working at making games and you want your games to sell.
Yeah. I see where you're going with that, but I think that would be unfair because there's nothing that can really prove if people are going to buy your game unless they buy your game. Like if you don't have money for marketing or advertising or to get you on that top page, you're probably not going to get the exposure. So you might not get the opportunity to sell as many to try to raise that tier. But I do see where you're coming.
That's the nature of the beast.
Yeah.
No one has that.
I guess.
Except for the big companies.
Yeah, true. So I see where you're going with that. I think what it comes down to is really putting in effort and time. Shovelware is a problem we have. And it's not just on Steam. We're just happen to be talking about Steam.
Yeah.
But whether mobile.
Imagine.
Yeah. I mean, even the Wii was the perfect spot because the Wii got exploited really hard when it blew up. So you take a client like Steam where now you added in the last few years, you have people that can upload their stuff. And then you have so many different indie developers that are coming up and making it big. So everyone wants to try to do something. There has to be some type of, maybe not necessarily a limit, but it does need to be, in my opinion, monitored to a degree.
There needs to be more checks and balances. And this wasn't a problem for Steam until the recent last few years as Steam had their Steam Greenlight and a few other changes to how games can be placed and published on their client. Before it was a little bit more of a process where you had to kind of go through Steam. They would check through games. And when Greenlight hit, they made it very easy for anyone to be able to kind of make a game and put it on the store. And that caused some issues. So that's a discussion for another time. So lastly, should all online gaming stores, app stores have this sort of monitoring and removal of things that just don't fit what they should be on their store? I'll answer the question first. Heck yes. I can't stand the App Store for Apple. There is so much garbage on there and just shovelware and apps that are just cash grabs that don't halfway work. I think it's a problem, a big one.
Yeah.
I'm looking at it from like a console perspective. Say if you're on Xbox and you're checking out the Xbox shop, there are some gems in there that you can truly appreciate. And we don't know how long it took to make that game. It could have just been something they've thrown up there with what they had, what they could do, and it ends up being a fun, enjoyable game. So I think that I monitor it, but I'd say be a little lax on it.
Okay.
I think it depends on how big the library is. Like you used Apple's, library, for example. There's so much on there and there's so much more crap. Like something like that needs to be monitored. But if you have a system that has 200 titles or some type of client that has 200, maybe monetize it a little bit. But I mean, out of 200, I mean, it's not the end of the world where Steam has thousands and thousands and thousands. Now you gotta filter through that because that's too much. Like as consumers, we don't want to spend an hour filtering through games. We're lucky enough if we do that customizing a character, let alone looking for a game to possibly buy.
Yep. All right. Well, that is what we've got on Steam and their kind of changes to how they're going about pruning some of the games from their online store. What do you think? Let us know what your thoughts are. Should they do that? Should they not? What qualifies for a game to be on the store? What qualifies as shovelware? Email us, contact@scspodcast.net, where you can email us at, or reach us on Twitter at Super Co-op Squad. And again, the links for those are going to be in the details and description of this episode. So speed run. So every week we'll break down 10 news stories that didn't make the list for a full segment. We've got 1 minute per topic before we move on to the next. Finished or not. Gotta go fast.
I need that S rank.
In the speed run. AIM, or AOL Instant Messenger, an online text messaging service made popular in the early 90s through the 2000s, will be shutting down for good on December 15th.
It's still up?
Still up, but not for much longer.
Are people even using it?
I'm sure there are some people. I mean, it was a good messenger. This is,
from the 90s, yeah.
I mean, it still works the same way. It's instantaneous.
Yeah, it's just a chat system.
It's sad, but I mean, better things have come. Discord's here, and Discord is a much better service. You don't need to have an instant messaging system because every program that you need to interact with someone has it built in.
Mm-hmm. I mean, everyone has a phone. That's what happened.
And phones, yeah. So it's right there.
Text messages are.
So yeah, this is definitely kind of sad, but it is it is what it is.
Yeah.
I mean, did you use it? Because I used it, and I'm sad to see it go.
I used it like freshman year.
That's it?
That's it.
Now, maybe we all use it at some point in time.
Yeah.
It's just like, hey, let me send you a message over the computer and get it immediately.
Then I never look
It's a
back.
text message on a computer. That's what it was.
Next. Jackie Chan confirms that Rush Hour 4 is on its way and a script could be completed by 2018. No word if Chris Tucker is attached to the project. Of course there's no word.
I don't know if I want another one.
That man has disappeared.
Yeah.
He's done some
He's done
stand-ups.
stand-up, though. But
He's done stand-up?
in the last couple of years, he's done
Wow,
stand-up. He's
cool.
not doing nothing, but he's not doing what he once was.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, when you have tax evasion, that typically happens to you.
Yeah,
Yeah,
just
he
ask
does-
Wesley Snipes.
He disappear.
Chris Tucker Hill is in a similar situation.
Yeah. This movie's not going to happen if Chris Tucker's not going to do it.
It'll happen. It just won't do well.
I mean, that seems to be the new thing is, bring a new movie from an old franchise and don't put one of the main characters in it. We got Men in Black, not getting Will Smith, Independence Day, not getting Will Smith.
Well, Men in Black is not for sure yet.
Yeah,
There has not been a Men in Black yet without Will Smith.
My point being, we talked about it last week that there was a Men in Black 4.
Possibly.
And Men in Black 3, there is no... Oh, there are 3 movies.
yes, there are. What?
I forgot
Okay.
about that horrible third one.
Yeah. So what do you guys think? You guys want this to come back?
No. Even if he was coming back, I don't want him back.
You don't want old man?
Next.
Bob's Burgers is going from the small screen to the big screen, and a movie is scheduled for July 17th, 2020.
Yeah, for my birthday. Sort of.
I don't want this.
I'm excited.
You don't think a big screen adaptation is going to...
No, these characters and the 22-minute kind of format is what these shows and these themes are made for. These storylines, they don't work for hour-and-a-half long movies, in my opinion. And I can't think of one that has done amazingly well. Simpsons movie, South Park movie, Rugrats
The
movie.
South Park movie was very enjoyable. I don't know.
I didn't like it.
Well, that's you.
Yeah, it is. It is. And I can't see it being successful.
I think it'll work. I don't think it'll do gangbusters. It'll definitely do better than the Emoji Movie.
It'll probably be bad. But that wasn't based off of a... But yeah, I just can't... I can't see it. For me, it's just no.
It'll be fun. I'm looking forward to it. Joshua.
I think it'll happen. I mean,
Well,
Hey
it
Arnold's
will
coming
happen.
back,
They
so-
gave a release date.
Yeah. I haven't watched Bob's Burgers, but I think a movie will be fine. You just string 3 episodes together.
Next.
Destiny 1's PlayStation exclusive content is no longer exclusive. 2 years later, you can attain maps and weapons that were previously unattainable on anything besides the Sony console.
All right, so how's Destiny 2?
Yeah, this is stupid.
Is Destiny 1 even still playable online?
Yeah, it is playable, but it's the lands are barren.
There's you can't do raids. You can't do
I mean, you can do all that stuff, just no one's playing Destiny 1 because Destiny 2.
yeah. I mean, it's cool. It finally got lifted, but it's too little, too late. Why does it matter now?
It doesn't, which is why it's now available everywhere else.
Yeah, Sony's like, yeah, give it to them. Go ahead, let them play. Let them pick up our scraps.
For those that are playing the Xbox 360 version,
Ooh,
Yeah.
I ain't pouring out for you guys, huh?
Yeah. If you're still on 360, what are you doing with your life? What are you doing?
saving up money
For what?
to get an
What,
Xbox
like
One.
3-4 years?
They're only $250 now. We've been over this.
Hey, your 6-year-old can't make any money yet.
Yeah.
Okay.
Next. The iconic classic Star Wars Battlefront 2 for PS2 and PC has its online servers turned back on. The game has been updated with 64-player online multiplayer support and cross-play between Steam and Good Old Game accounts. Good Old Gaming? Good Old Games.
Good old games. I did not play this game.
This is cool.
I also did not play this game.
Woe is you.
It had a resurgence. People are really on this game.
It's coming back.
It was really fun. So I like that this is coming back. This is a really cool thing you don't get very often. There's nothing more to say besides that.
This is going to confuse a lot of parents.
Well, yes and no. They won't have an option to buy it in store. So how they don't once if they can't get it in store, even if they know there's a couple different games, it won't matter.
Amazon.com.
What are you gonna buy it?
It's
Star Wars
it's a digital-
Battlefront 2.
It's a digital game.
PS2?
No, this is on PC.
This is on
now.
PC, bro.
Yeah, but I'm looking. It says PS2 PC.
No, that was the
Are
original
the
game.
PS2 servers back on?
No.
Then why is PS2 anywhere in this headline?
It was
Next.
originally a PS2 game.
Next.
Netflix's The Punisher has been pushed back No, that's not right. Netflix's The Punisher has pushed back its release schedule and has had its New York Comic Con panel removed due to the recent events that happened in Las Vegas. I mean, well, it was tragic what happened in Las Vegas. I think it was a good move to kind of pull this just to not have any flashbacks, recurrences, or anything. I think this was smart. Which there's things that have happened in the past that are related to games or shows, and they just said, you know what, we're not going to show this footage yet because it's not time yet. So
it happens quite often. It happened famously with the original Spider-Man. The original Spider-Man film was supposed to have a trailer and a scene where a plane was about to crash into the Twin Towers, and he webs up the plane or the helicopter and prevent it from crashing into the towers. And they removed that scene from the trailer and the movie completely because of 9/11. So yeah, it's a proper thing to do in respect, I think.
Yeah. So there's no, I mean, it wasn't even officially confirmed that it was going to come out this year. So
yeah, this is respectful to the family and the victims of what happened. So, it's nothing different.
Next.
It's rumored that a new trailer for Star Wars Episode 9 will drop October 9th during Monday Night Football and will coincide with pre-sale tickets releasing shortly after.
La, don't want to hear it.
So when this airs, it'll probably already have aired.
Yeah, there's no question, first of all, that there's going to be a trailer. There is going to be one. It already had got leaked, I believe.
I ain't watching it.
Yeah, I don't watch them. But then also I was getting like 8 emails from all the movie theaters that I have subscriptions to, like, hey, pre-sale tickets go on sale on Monday.
Yeah, I did get that yesterday and today.
I'll be buying my tickets as soon as they're available. I'll send them. I'm buying a whole row.
Luckily,
I'll slip you some cash.
Whole row. Luckily, I don't watch football, so I don't have to even accidentally run into it.
Woe is you.
Yeah, but watch out for all the social media.
Yeah, that's the trap.
So I'll be the one to watch it, so I can post it up on social media for our group, so that way.
Luckily, I don't have social media.
Oh.
Except for when they want to tweet you, right?
Except that one thing, yeah.
Someone tweet Johnny the trailer.
I would respond to that and just that.
Next. In other Netflix news, Netflix is raising its subscription price for its high-definition viewers in the USA. Two-screen HD service is going down. Two-screen HD service is going from $10 to $11, and 4K HD family will go from $12 to $14. Standard definition subscriptions will stay at $8.
Yay, Netflix going up again. It's like a yearly
why
thing
would
now.
you say yay?
I was being sarcastic.
Oh,
that's why I said yay.
So, this is I don't want to say it's a problem per se, but I mean, they know that they could just go up and up and up and people are going to buy it anyway. It's Netflix.
I disagree.
Yeah, you think Netflix has a turning point?
I think the turning point is the fact that they're going to lose subscriptions to all of the television stations and movie studios that are going to make their own streaming services. There's so many of them doing it and trying to get away from Netflix.
I don't know if those will work.
They may not. They will never have the sheer amount of numbers that Netflix does. But if Disney pulls off 1 million and then CBS pulls off 500,000 and someone pulls off 100,000 and there's 25 of them that all do that, that's hurting.
Like, don't get me wrong, that's going to hurt Netflix. But is anyone going to purchase USA Network's streaming service?
That's my point. There will be people. There may not be a ton, but there will be. So if there are 30
Todd McFarlane announces at New York Comic Con that a Spawn movie reboot is happening. It will be directed by Todd and will be a rated R film and will have a $10 million budget. Todd McFarlane also made a bold statement about movie studios saying, and I quote, "We do not need your input, we don't need your cash, we don't need your creativity, and they don't like those deals." End quote. That's pretty heavy to say that.
It's an interesting last comment.
Say, we don't need you, I'm going to make my own damn movie.
I mean, well, is he saying, like, I don't need to hear the fans, like, what they want, or their, like, fan
No, it's nothing to do with the fans.
Okay.
That last sentence of, and they don't like those deals, is specifically talking to the movie studios. He's saying, we're not going to let you have input. We're not going to come groveling for money because we don't need your money and we don't need your creativity to say what to do. So, and you don't like that. So that's why we're not working with you.
Yeah, you're not going to dictate how I make this movie.
Okay. No, that's good. That's good. I like that.
Yeah. And I think also he's saying that, and that's also why they are doing this independently with whoever he has getting that cash flow from, because no one's going to take that deal from him.
Well, I mean, Todd McFarlane toys are, like, very profitable.
Yeah, but does he have $10 million in cash? Barely. Most movies have like $70 million budgets. So for him to scrape 10 is pretty sad and paltry.
Yeah, well, we're going to get a badass R-rated Spawn movie, so I hope it's good.
We'll see about the badass part. We'll get a Spawn movie.
Oh, hopefully it's a badass
Hopefully.
Spawn movie.
I don't know.
Next.
Google announces their new line of wireless Bluetooth earbuds named Pixel Buds. The smart earbuds will be utilizing Google Assistant to make calls, answer messages, and even be able to translate 40 languages in real time.
Okay, that last part's pretty cool.
This is gonna, I mean, if it works the way that they're marketing it to work, this right here revolutionizes the world.
Yep.
This essentially removes language barriers for anyone that can afford these. I believe they're priced at $149.99, which is not a crazy amount.
Bad.
No, that's usually what you pay for a Bluetooth wireless
That's
headphone.
less than
speaker.
Beats.
Right?
Yeah.
So this, I mean, maybe it's too early to say it yet because we need to see how they work. But if it really works where I speak, you hear me through your Google thing, it translates, and then you respond, then it translates for what you said to me.
With your Google Buds.
Yeah, golly, man, that changes the whole world. The whole world.
The only thing that kind of scares me about is that no one's going to take the time to actually learn the language.
That's a good point, yeah.
little scary. But, you know, that technology can do that.
I mean, were you going to learn another language?
I mean, if I want to go to Japan, I damn well better learn Japanese.
Go to school? Nah, just pay $150 and you'll get these buds right here.
I'm fairly certain you're going to go to Japan and not know how to speak Japanese.
I'm gonna want to know how to say a couple of key words. Where's food?
Bathroom.
Bathroom.
That's not learning the language, though.
Do we have anything else to say?
Nope.
End.
All right, guys. Well, that's our speed run. Hopefully you enjoyed. Give us some topics for next week, things that you see in the news that sounds good or sounds fun or interesting. We'd love to add that for next week's speed run. All right. It's time for Name the Game. Every week, 3 video games, 2 competing hosts, and clues that lead to the correct gaming answer. Use your wits, match the clues, and name the game. All right. So last week I went down. Joshua took me down, and Garrett, he stumped me yet again. So I'm doing it, and Joshua's going for his 2-peat here. You ready, gentlemen?
See,
Yep.
Got you, Gary. I'm still watching you.
This game has you bust a move.
Dance Dance Revolution.
No.
I was gonna say that. I was like, nah, that's a little too much. Pass.
The ultimate Wii Waggle.
Just Dance.
That's correct.
Damn.
In this game, you rule the air and the skies.
Crimson Skies.
That's correct. Dang it, I didn't think you'd get it that easy.
I mean, based on the last time you gave a frickin' air game, it's pretty close. I hesitated too, and I was like,
All right, Garrett's up 2-0.
that's 2 air games I frickin' just...
What was the other air game? What are you talking about?
A's Combat.
That one took a while.
Remember, yeah.
Here we go. Number 3. Use your weapon to pump it up.
Half-Life?
No.
Buckshot?
No.
No, I bet you I know what it is now.
Dirt is no obstacle for you.
Go ahead. You know it. You just said you know it.
Yeah, I did. Fracture?
No.
I was going to go with that. Sorry, what was the clue again?
Dirt is no obstacle for you.
Blinks the Cat.
No. What the heck?
Talk about obscure.
Catch the bad guys before they dig their way to freedom.
Dig Dug?
Dig Dug.
I never played Dig Dug.
Yeah.
Well, that is a skunk there. 3-0.
You smell that?
Smells like ass.
So congratulations, Garrett, on getting your name the game win. Joshua, good job. Nice try.
Good job for what? Good job for participating?
And we will see you next week.
Oh, I'm going to bring it.
All right. So listener mail. We get a mail and we listen to it. Listener mail.
Well, I mean, it doesn't speak to us.
No, you got to buy one of those cars that has the recorded voicings and then...
Yep. So email number 1, Garrett, go ahead and take that one.
Email number 1 is from Trevor. Trevor says, out of Thor and Justice League, which will be the better film? And also, which will be the most successful financially? While it does seem like a lot of people feel the Marvel films are generally better, the DC films do just as good and better than the slew of Marvel films from a box office perspective. Thoughts?
Okay, so from just a trailer standpoint, that most recent trailer that just dropped for Justice League looks great. Looks awesome. Hype Train's coming back.
I gotta disagree. You show me Aquaman flying? No.
He wasn't flying.
He was flying.
He was not flying.
He was flying along with Cyborg. He changed his direction and everything.
Cyborg is holding on to him.
No, because I looked for that. Before I said anything, I looked for that. Cyborg was not. And then Aquaman chooses to then propel himself forward way faster than Cyborg with rocket boosters.
So Cyborg didn't throw him. Cyborg didn't say, let's go, and then just chuck him.
I didn't see it. I hope that's the case.
Well, even with that.
All right, well, which
movie.
one looks better to you guys, and then which one's going to be more successful, Thor or Justice League?
Thor and Thor.
Okay.
Justice League looks better. Thor is going to do better.
I'm flipped around. I think Thor will be the better movie. I think Justice League will make way more money because all those characters are more iconic than Thor. People care more about Batman and Wonder Woman than they do about Thor.
I think the track record, if you look at track records of Marvel and track records of DC, I think more people are going to be inclined to see Thor.
So I think what Trevor is saying here is true, though. So yes, the Marvel films, they are well and far away better, considered to be better, but the DC films make a crap load of money. No question.
Well, the reason I think that is because let's take their biggest movies, probably. Batman versus Superman. People are going to buy that. It's Batman versus Superman. No one knows the depths of which it will go and how terrible it was.
So
people will buy it because it's the new movie. I think the big sum of that money are first timers that haven't read any reviews, haven't seen any backlash of it, just going to go see Batman and Superman because they think they're going to get a quality film.
Maybe. If that's the case, though, then I feel we'll still get those same people going to watch Justice League, especially after the amazing Wonder Woman film that she's now going to be a part of.
Yes, Wonder Woman was fantastic, but I don't think that it's going to get that same repeat people because going into Batman vs. Superman, this is a new thing. This is DC's, put together Justice League, whatever, Avengers. This is DC's Avengers. After seeing that, a lot of people, I'm sure, have now been dissuaded?
Dissuaded? It is dissuaded, yes.
Yeah.
Well, we very rarely agree on things, but we also very rarely have any actual hardline fact to be able to say if we're right or wrong. And we'll be able to do that in November to see which one actually did better. So I look forward to actually proving you wrong.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, to take what you're pointing. So if Wonder Woman came out first and did exactly what it did now, would Batman versus Superman have made more money? Would that have made more money?
Yes. Absolutely.
So now that Justice League is coming off the heels of Wonder Woman, that's what I see happening.
Okay. I'm hoping, but still, Wonder Woman didn't have Batman and Superman.
It doesn't matter. It's the fact that she's in the movie.
The Thor movies for the Marvel universe are typically the lowest selling movies out of the entire franchise.
Yep.
All of them.
But Hulk's in it, so there's that.
Doctor Strange.
We'll see. Yeah. Doctor Strange wasn't top 5 either.
Jeff Goldblum
is not Jurassic Park.
He's not top 5 anymore.
Yep. All right. So email number 2, we got Joyce. So Josh will take that one.
All right. Joyce says, I've played Destiny 2 and I feel you guys were pretty easy on the game. It was super close to the original game in terms of gameplay and scope, and I felt the story mode was lackluster and didn't add enough to the world of the game. It would have been better to continue to make DLC for Destiny 1 rather than blow up all the hard work and time myself and other gamers put in to get a product that is very nearly the same game from a style perspective and force me to do all of that same grinding all over again.
That's a great point, actually. When you look at Destiny 2, as far as story or anything, it doesn't add that much. You're still on Earth. This could have easily have been DLC. And I believe their original plan was they had said Destiny is a 10-year product.
They did.
Yeah. But little did we know that it was going to be broken across 5 games.
Yeah.
I don't know. So, okay. This is an interesting dilemma that we find ourselves in. So on the one side, Joyce, I do agree with you that there wasn't enough stylistic change for Destiny 1 to Destiny 2. And I think they were almost there. The storyline is better, but it wasn't enough, I think, overall to say like this deserved another game. Now, what they gave us was fun. they definitely had upgrades and improvements that made the game fun, but maybe wasn't enough. On the other side, though, when you have a game like Destiny, top players, the top people that are staying with it, the diehards, are light level 5 million. They got all the rarest gear, and then you're some noob trying to come in with the new DLC, and you hop into this world, and you're just some scrub who knows nothing amongst gods playing around them. That's intimidating.
I got a couple of things to dispute that. You do have the option to jump straight up to your light level. You start the game, you can start a new character, go straight to level 20, with an item. So you have the game is available to you. You can now play all that stuff. 2, if you want to get all that experience and play, you play the game like normal.
Sure. Okay. But if I gave you a bunch of muscle and speed and just, hey, go play football, Garrett, professional football, could you do it? No, you couldn't, because you don't know how to play.
So what you're saying is, if you had given me all for one in my current state, then I wouldn't be ready.
No, absolutely.
You're right. Right.
You wouldn't.
Yeah. No,
so yeah, just because they give you the gear and the light level doesn't make you able to compete and play at the same skill level as people that have been doing it for a long time.
No, you don't have the know-how, but it's also, for the most part, it's a cooperative game. You play with people that want to play with you, unless you're playing in strikes or something like that, which then it's not an intimidating factor if you're not in PvP. You guys are all working together to achieve the same common goal. Sure, you may not know that, I need to shoot wizards with blank element to take down their shields, being a new player, but there's 2 other people in that strike that do know, and you learn as you go.
People are pretty unforgiving in strikes in Destiny 1 when you didn't know what you were doing. Or the raids, especially.
Raids for sure. That is why there's no matchmaking in raids. You need to have friends if you're going to play raids. You need to know who you're talking and playing with. Strikes are completely different.
I think for sure, for almost certain, the reason they went to number 2 versus re-adding things to 1 was to get casual fans to play. To say we're resetting everything. That's why they did it. They did not care about the hardcores because they were going to come back either way.
Yeah, it's also a reason to hack the price up to $60 too.
I mean, they were dropping $40 a DLC. I think that didn't matter. I think they were able to. For me, it didn't matter. I think that they were able to get more people by bringing in number 2 and adding DLC.
Yeah, I still think Joyce has a great point. I don't think they brought enough to Destiny 2 to warrant erasing all your progress.
Fair enough. All right. So last week's listener question: if you could take one video game character and make them into an amiibo, and kind of have them have powers and skill sets, what would those be? What character would it be?
It was pop culture.
What?
It was pop culture.
Pop culture. Cool.
You going first?
Sure.
Me? Okay.
Go ahead.
All Might. I just wanted to meet with All Might and his function. I win the game.
You are really on this My Hero Academia stuff.
Yeah. Now, if they can pump out the dubs more quickly,
wow,
that'd be nice.
Just watch the sub. Just don't eat. Either eat before or wait to eat. And then watch the subs.
Mine would be Deadpool. Only because I'd put him in the game and he would just break the game. He would just break the 4th wall and do stuff, add bazookas into a Final Fantasy game or
move your life bar so you don't get hit.
Yeah, it'd be awesome. So yeah, that'd be mine.
Well, 2. Well, just give me a Mario Power Star and just be invincible through like every game. Mario Power Star would be God mode
playing
in
Breath
every
of the Wild.
All right, pretty good. All right, cool. Let's see. So next week's listener question, if you had to get a tattoo of the face of one video game character, and it has to be your sex. It can't be the opposite sex. So you can't pick Bayonetta, Garrett. You can't pick, I don't know, whatever character you like, Joshua.
What if the gender is non-specific?
What
if the gender is non-specific?
If it's a robot or something?
Yeah.
Sure, that's fine. You can pick a robot. Metroid is not a robot. Samus is not a robot.
Sex.
Wow. So what character would you get a tattoo of right on your chest? Like Bowser or anything like that. So let us know what you would pick. And that is next week's listener question. Cool. All right. Well, Trevor, Joyce, thank you for your emails. We appreciate it. And if you guys wanted to reach out to us and had your own thoughts on anything gaming, pop culture, media, movies, let us know. Email us. You can email us at contact@scspodcast.net. You can also reach out to us on Twitter @SuperCoopSquad. There's going to be links for those in all of our media and social sites in the details and the description of the episode you're currently listening to. So please check that out, guys, and hit us up. And All right, so in-game boss fight. So what's going on with us outside of the podcast? And we give each other end-game bosses to figure out how to defeat by the next episode, and we'll go over our bosses that were given to us last week. All right, so Joshua, what did you give me?
I'm trying to remember that.
Oh, Joshua can't remember. Look at his memory failing, old man.
What, we're doing this live? Okay.
All right, so last week you gave me I have to escape the Pac-Man maze, right?
Yep.
5 stages.
5 stages, and some of the pellets are secretly ghosts in disguise.
All right, so I assume they're probably just going to be the power. I said probably 3 times right there. They're going to most likely be the power pellets.
Nope.
They could be any pellet?
It could be any pellet.
All right, well, I got to take a chance on the first pellet, and probably he won't be. There's only 4. There's like 150 pellets. The odds are pretty good it won't be a ghost. I'll pick that up, and then I'll throw it at the next pellet, and if I kill a ghost, then I'm safe. If not, then I can pick up that pellet and have more ammunition and then throw it at the next one and just start killing these guys as they're in disguise.
So what cheat code did you put in that allows you to not eat pellets, but instead pick them up and throw them at the adjacent pellets to see if they're ghosts or not?
Because I'm not Pac-Man. I'm a human with hands. That's why. If Pac-Man had hands, he could also pick up the pellets. But he doesn't have hands.
And Pac-Man Adventures.
Yeah, and Smash Brothers, they gave him hands.
Yeah, and as you see, he can fight with those hands. He has complete control of their ghosts. Now he has hands. So that'd be how I get rid of that. And I guess I'd go through 5 stages, even though Pac-Man only has 2 stages.
5 stages of throwing pellets at other pellets.
That's fine. Be killing ghosts.
It's going to be a long game.
I only got to kill 4 ghosts and I'm good.
I don't think that's how you kill the ghosts. You have to actually eat the power pellet and then eat the ghost. But apparently you don't do that. So
I'm not Pac-Man.
Exactly. So how are you going to kill the ghost?
I'm Johnny Mac.
I don't
Man.
think that matters in this situation. But
Sure
it's your game.
You always try to argue why I can't win. Just shut up and let me win how I say I'm going to win. God.
If you had that attitude for trivia, you probably always win.
I won today. All right. So yeah, playing Cuphead. I'm really enjoying that game. I also started playing Path of Exile, which is pretty much Diablo.
Yep.
I like that game quite a bit. It's a little annoying that it's online. It has to be online all the time.
You hear that, Chandler?
Their servers are a little wonky. That kind of sucks. It'll speed up and slow down really weird. But it doesn't happen too often. But the game is fun. I'll probably be blowing through that, putting some heavy duty time into it. Got a lot of games I'm picking up this month, so I'm looking forward to those. And that's my week. So Garrett, you had you were on the golf range.
For some reason.
You had to hit a hole in one, and you can't leave until you do it. And every time you hit a hole, every time you swing, if you don't get that hole in one, the hole moves somewhere else randomly. So how are you getting through this one, man?
Probably not. Probably just gonna sleep at the golf course, I guess.
I'm gonna end my days here.
Just gonna die here. Because golf is not one of my things. Do I at least have one of those gauge bars, those power bars?
Sure.
So I can gauge how far it's gonna go.
That sounds good. Yeah.
Okay. All right. I'll just keep trying then.
All right.
I mean, it's a battle of attrition at that point.
Swing and a miss.
You won't beat me, but eventually I'll beat you.
Fair enough.
All right. My week. Still haven't quite beaten Fire Emblem. I have a feeling I'm there. Joshua, did you beat Echoes?
Yeah.
Okay. So after the podcast, I can let you know where I am, and then you can let me know how close I am. Other than that, Cuphead is hard. That difficulty ramped way up for me in World 2 or the second island.
It gets harder.
Yeah, it got to a point where I can't beat any of these bosses, so I just can't continue the game. I spent all my money trying to get new power-ups, and they're not helping me.
I saw a meme that was super funny. It was a picture of what's the dice guy? Dice head?
King Dice.
King Dice
Mm-hmm.
and the text said, we don't have to worry about game reviewers if they can't get past the tutorial.
Speaking of that, I watched a video where some reviewer, I forget his name, I'll maybe post the video up on social media, but it was some reviewer who was playing through the tutorial, and there was that jump where you have to jump and then dash. This reviewer could not pass that portion in the time it took a pigeon to solve a puzzle of standing on the block and getting the food or whatever it's trying to grab. And it showed the video side by side. And you see the guy just trying to jump up. He can't quite do it. He's jumping, doing the dash. It's hilarious.
Poor guy.
But Other than that, Cuphead, the new Overwatch event, Halloween event, will be coming on the day you guys get this podcast. Some cool new skins. Symmetra's got a cool dragon skin. Mei, some weird Chinese classic vampire. Zenyatta is like Cthulhu or something. It looks really cool. So I'm excited. That's me, Overwatch, Cuphead, and still that Fire Emblem.
Have you played Cuphead on simple?
I tried it just to see what the difference was.
Is there a difference?
So what it does is it'll skip a boss phase, and I believe if you complete it, it doesn't count.
You don't get coins.
Yeah. No, well, you don't get coins from mini bosses.
Are you sure?
Yep.
No, you only get them from the levels.
From the stages.
Okay.
But it doesn't give you a grade or anything. It's just to kind of see how the boss will go.
Can you progress? Like, will King Dice count that as a win?
No.
In the column?
No.
He doesn't.
No. From what I can tell, but I've only done the one stage just to see what it felt like, and then I've just been on regular the whole time.
Okay.
But lots of fun. So, Joshua.
Well, before he gives you give him his, I got to give you yours.
Oh, okay.
So,
all right, we'll do that.
Yep. So you, sir. Ooh, I got it. That was thank you, Joshua. You gave me a great one. So you were going to have to play a world champion, rock, paper, scissors, master. And he always knows what you're going to throw out. He has like he's not necessarily psychic, but he just has like a sixth intuitive sense. Like right before that rock, paper, scissors, and you guys throw, he just knows what you're going to throw, and he always beats you 2 out of 3. How do you beat that, guys? That's your master. That's who you got to beat.
I already got it.
All right, good.
Okay.
Now, if you'll remember that for next week.
Yeah, right.
Write it down.
All right, Joshua. Last week, you had to fight Zero, but he's operating on Windows 95.
Yeah, he was. So, I essentially just went to a very specific site. I'm not going to name the site. Got a virus. Now Zero has a virus. And he can't fight back.
Iris!
He crashed. He burned. All I did was press a couple clicks, type in a couple keys, and that was it.
You got the blue screen of death.
Yeah. That's one way to do it. I got a laptop. I don't need that computer anymore. And that was it. Bye, Zero.
Yep, I'll do it.
Gosh, it's been a long week. It's a long weekend. I'm feeling a lot better on my back. As you guys see, I can stand up straight. So hopefully that keeps up.
No.
Yeah, you're moving just as much as Johnny's baby.
No, they can't see.
Yeah.
They can't see you.
No, I'm feeling a lot better.
John Cena.
Which is good. So I went to an old coworker's. Rodney, he bought a little cafe up in, I forget what city. It's up like past Palmdale by Lancaster. So I went with a couple other people, checked out his restaurant. It was real cool of him and his wife to host us there. Really good food up there. Then hung out with him for a little bit. He made us some steaks. That was good. That's all I've been eating all weekend, leftover steak. So that's what I did mainly Friday. Been playing a lot of Cuphead. I finished the game. It is frustratingly fun. So now I'm essentially going through and trying to essentially get the high ranks, which is pretty hard because after you beat the game, you unlock expert mode, which is only available for the bosses. It's not available for the stages. I was kind of disappointed to see that I like how there's a lot of bosses, but there's not enough stages for me.
Yeah.
There's not enough platforming.
It's mostly a boss rush.
Yeah. Which is still a lot of fun. Did you guys finish the game yet?
Nope.
Stuck on aisle 2. But I have heard there's an even harder mode.
You mean, yeah. Well, should I spoil it?
I mean, we don't have to say how to get it.
I mean, you can play the whole game in black and white.
The whole game in black and white.
Which I've already unlocked. I just haven't done it yet. But that'll be fun. There's so many cool, unique bosses, and they look so clean. There's so much fun stuff. I can't even talk about it because you guys probably haven't gotten there yet. Wow.
I've seen all the bosses.
What aisle are you on?
I'm on 2 as well.
Oh,
I just haven't had time to play more. Plus, I started playing Path of Exile, which took some time away, and then I'm, as always, playing a lot of Magic. So there's that.
I feel like it's unfair for me to play co-op because I know like most of the game and the bosses and how they work. So
one of those bosses I feel is a callback to Final Fantasy IX.
Which one?
What is her name? Sally Stage something, where you're fighting in the theater. Because there's that second to last phase where she's like some like angel or something like that, and whenever she does a move, a sign will come down to say what move she's doing. Yeah, like it's like an RPG. Yeah, it looks cool.
Yeah, it's fun stuff. So there's that. I haven't really played much else. I'm probably gonna play one game before Mario Odyssey comes out. I am so damn tired today because I got up early, didn't sleep a whole lot, but I watched Blade Runner 2049 with my brother. It's a long ass movie. It's almost 3 hours. With trailers, it's like 3.5 hours.
I'm down for that.
It got really good reviews. It's almost like a 80s movie was pulled out from time and just thrown in a futuristic setting. It's really cool. It's not as actiony. I didn't see the first one, which, I'm losing a lot of tie-ins. It's not very action heavy. It's very environmental storytelling. It's very dark. It just, the lighting effects, the sound, and just the atmosphere is real. It's not even creepy. It's very, has a lot of undertones from like Terminator and RoboCop and those movies where it's just, the setting is really dark and kind of eerie, and you kind of don't know what the character's motives are. It does have a couple twists in there, which is real nice. And Harrison Ford looks old, just like he does in the trailer. But if you're gonna go see that movie, be prepared. It's a long movie, and you're gonna be sitting for quite a while.
That's good. I wish more movies would take that chance and just have a fleshed out movie that was really long.
Yeah, I mean, it does tie up some loose ends, which is nice in the first movie, and it's something that I think people that like the older movies should go see. But just be prepared for it. Johnny, I already know what I got for you.
Hey, I got to give you something.
Hopefully it's something good.
I don't know. You got to fight Cagney Carnation in black and white.
Who?
Cagney Carnation.
Who?
Rolled one. Cuphead.
He's that stupid, flower, dude.
Yeah.
Oh, the one that's doing the little...
Yeah, he's doing a little hand motion.
Yes, sorry, guys. Sorry, he referenced a hand motion and showed us.
It's the flower boss in Cuphead. So there you go. If you haven't seen it, look it up. All right, Johnny. So you are you're in a battle. You have a board in front of you. You got a deck. I don't know who this person is. You might know. It's the #1 Magic player in the world. You got to somehow beat his unbeatable deck. He's undefeated, but somehow you and your Magic knowledge, you're gonna hopefully figure it out and be the new Magic the Gathering champion.
All right, sounds good. I like it.
Best 2 out of 3 set.
He has to battle me.
Cool. All right, guys. Well, that is our show for this episode. As always, we appreciate you listening. Thank you for tuning in, having fun with us, and hopefully you're enjoying the podcast. If you had some time, we'd appreciate you guys taking a chance, taking some time, and giving us a review. So if you're on iTunes or wherever you listen to your podcast, click on that review, give us some stars. We'd appreciate that. Or if you have a couple minutes, give us some words and help us reach a bigger audience, help others who enjoy the same things you do find something that they can listen to, whether that's in the car or at home or in the shower, wherever you listen to, and that goes a long way to really supporting us, guys. So please do that. We'd appreciate anyone who does that, and thank you if you do happen to take a couple of minutes out of your day and give us that time and that effort. So please do that for us. As always, guys, you can reach us and chat with us online on Twitter as a group at Super Co-op Squad. You can find us individually as well. You can find me at JohnnyMac24,
which is only social media.
It's my only one, yeah.
You can find me at GJL3275.
And I'm at Joshua_4_life.
All right, guys. Well, take care, and we'll see you next week. And as always, I'm Johnny Mac.
I'm Garrett.
I'm Joshua.
Bye.